Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. Hello everybody, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is your Geek Out for today. Our Geek Out is brought to you by GoToAssist from Citrix. You can take control of your IT world from one simple cloud-based platform. With GoToAssist, you can keep all of your systems up and running while keeping all of your users supported, provide live or unattended support, and that's a big deal, live or unattended support from anywhere, even from your iPad. If you happen to have an iPad, that's okay. Even if you don't have an iPad, there are other ways to get to your clients, including both Windows and OS X binaries you can download right now. For a free 30-day trial, head over to gotoassist.com, click the Try It Free button, and use the promo code Pirillo. Remixing my father figures, PBS, Bob Ross, and Fred Rogers. I don't know if you've seen the videos, remixed, auto-tuned, the people that I guess I grew up with, like Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross, you know, Happy Little Trees, the guy with the big afro thing on his head, like me. Well, I think he had a bigger afro. I guess I'm kind of like the Bob Ross of, you know, geekery, kind of. Okay, so maybe I'm a bit more high-strung than Bob Ross was. But you've got to take a look at these videos that PBS has done. It's just, you know, a nice way of remembering the people that once really meant something to us. And I guess in many ways, I owe them for me being myself. I mean, whether you like it or not, the people that you surround yourself with in your life will make you turn out the way you're going to turn out. So keep that in mind. It's not like you are what you eat, but, you know, you are, you know, very much like the people you hang out with. Not that I ever hung out with Bob Ross or Mr. Rogers. I would have, if I had the chance. Is the GoPro Hero 2 a good vlogging camera? No. You want to know the best vlogging camera in the entire galaxy? The camera that you have on you! Your smartphone is a great vlogging camera. Now, if you want to know what I use for the Pirillo vlogs, this is it. I talked about it in a vlog a long time ago, but if you want this, head over to go.tagjag.com/HDhat. Go.tagjag.com/HDhat. And you'll be able to see, you know, where you can get your own unit. I mean, it's a point-and-shoot camera with a modified lens in front of it, which is super wide angle, and it works well. Granted, you know, if your content sucks, it doesn't matter what camera you use. Keep that in mind. 1 week with Windows 8. Well, so far, so good, kinda. Although I gotta tell you, the more reviews I see of Windows 8, the more frightened I am. Not because I was wrong about what I was saying about Windows 8, specifically with the consumer preview. By the way, my dad's video of him using Windows 8 for the first time just passed 1 million views. If that's not a viral video, I don't know what is. People keep embedding it and sharing it because they realize after that Windows 8 shipped, oh, he was right. Really, all those months ago. Again, was right. I don't want to be right. I want Windows 8 to succeed badly. I also need to install Windows 8. But here's the thing. I got to ask you guys. I've got a few PCs around the house. Should I find a touchscreen PC to install Windows 8 on for the first time, or should I just use a laptop? Because I've got to schedule it. I'm thinking next week. Keep that in mind. Be watching on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, etc. To find out when that upcoming live event is going to be. I don't know how quickly I can get a hold of any other, you know, laptop other than the one that I already have. I don't know if I really want to buy a full-on new laptop, especially if Windows 8 turns out to be the disaster that other people say it is. Is the government doing enough to protect us online? Some would say the government needs to stay out of it, but I guess I'm of the mindset that the government probably could do more, and what it's doing today is the wrong way of guiding things. I think the government should, and the government, by the way, when I say the government, I mean the U.S. government, one world order, I'm not talking about world government. I would like to have equal access to the internet, and we just don't have that yet. And if there's one institution that could ensure that we were going to get that, it would be the government. And no, dial-up and satellite just don't really count. And even DSL barely counts as broadband these days. I mean, by today's standards. I have 110 down, 10 up here on my home office connection. It would be very difficult for me to go with anything less than that anywhere. I can't imagine. So I would hope that the policymakers aren't just listening to the people who are being paid to talk to them. You know, that's how government works. companies pay people to talk to the government officials to get them to vote their way. I know, it's a whole corrupt system. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. I don't even know if I have a better alternative. All I know is the government could do more, but it's got to do it differently. Find a job with Hire Sander. This guy, pretty smart. He creates a website that is his portfolio, but he does it in such a way that you kind of look twice. It's designed kind of like a Kickstarter project. I'm like, who is this guy? Seems really creative. It's one great way of getting people's attention. You can't just send out a resume. I mean, that's like what you would do in 1995. We're in like 2012. Your whole job, your whole career needs to live out online, and geeks are great at this. So why don't you just apply the things that you know to the things that you want to do? And that delta is exactly where there may be a job opportunity for you. Video editors, which is best? Best, as I've said, is relative. I've used iMovie, I used Windows Movie Maker, I now use Final Cut Pro to edit the vlogs every day. Of course, a couple of those on OS X, the Windows Movie Maker, if it wasn't obvious, it's not on OS X, it's on Windows. I'm happy with the tools that are sitting in front of me, the at my disposal. It's kind of like what I said a few minutes ago in relation to the vlogging camera, the type of camera that you'd want to use for anything. Ultimately, it's about your content, man. I mean, would you watch me if the video was lesser quality? You did. You have. You continue to do that at live.pirillo.com. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't go for as high a quality production value as you can, just that the camera isn't always the thing that is going to make it awesome, nor is the software. Everybody has their favorite. And ultimately, it's the one that works for you, not the one who works for someone else, because you're the one who's got to use the software. And I got to tell you, video editing software is pretty easy to use if you put your mind to it. Doesn't take much. Just got to do it. AT&T's FaceTime fiasco, net neutrality concerns spark a backlash. Yeah, AT&T is going to make it so that only certain people on certain plans can use FaceTime over 3G or 4G networks. Yeah, I don't know if I'm thrilled about this, although I am going to be moving to a group plan with Diana and myself here, hopefully soon as AT&T launches it. If only because we're not using the data that we're paying for now. We may be able to save money by using the same amount of data. I don't know if I really FaceTime all that much other than with family, and that's kind of few and far between, when the opportunity arises. It's not that we, video network with each other all the time. I'd like to have the option there. I think AT&T is making a mistake, but they're not listening to me and probably not listening to you either. Sad panda. FBI seizes domains of pirate Android app websites. Well, there's something you don't hear about with iOS. Pirate Android app websites? Well, I guess if they're, making Android look bad, is it a bad thing that they get taken offline? But isn't that the idea of Android, is that you can do anything with it? Wait, which is it? You can do anything with it, or you can't? Controversial Apple Genius ads yanked from YouTube. Yeah, these ads that made their debut during the Olympics apparently were a colossal failure. I thought they were interesting, highlighting the genius from Apple and the Apple stores. Don't know if they executed on the genius idea in a genius fashion. Makes you kind of wonder, would Steve have let those ads ever see the light of day? Some would say no, but then again, Steve's not with us anymore, so we've got to deal with what we have today. New nuclear fuel source would power human race until 5000 AD? And you know what else would power us until then? Diana's cooking. I'm saying, because it's very healthy, not to say that it gives me gas, usually. In 3,000 years, someone alive today will be the common ancestor of all humanity. Yikes! Hope that's not me. Azero via YouTube asks, do you think they'll make another Tron movie? I certainly hope so! Nerd Fleshman on YouTube writes, Chris, can you tell us what wallpaper you have in every Geek Out? It's not a wallpaper, it's a screensaver, dude. And it's just one that comes with OS X. I have wallpapers that rotate using software that we talked about last week. By the way, did you know that you could get the X screensaver module for iOS? It's optimized for both the iPad screen as well as the iPod Touch and iPhone screen. And one of those screensavers is the bouncing cows. Remember when I had the bouncing cow as my screensaver? Hang on. I can stop them in midair and rotate them. You can rotate your cows too. There you go. It's a little bonus. On LockerGnome.net, Jacob Thriller 1982 writes, do you use a web browser in ways that differ from how you've used one in the past? Yes. My favorite web browser used to be Maxthon when I was primarily on Windows. And Maxton now has cross-platform binaries, although it's a few years too late for me. I switched to Google Chrome, and for one reason, synchronization. I mean, it's easy, cross-platform, I don't have to worry about it. And you really can't get those type of features in any other browser right now. It's not as seamless, not as well supported, not as well developed or constantly developed. I'm using it to get to anywhere with all my data intact. And to me, Google's doing the right thing. I love Google Chrome. I'm using it right now to read the show notes, which, by the way, are edited on Google Docs. YouTube viewer Just Joe99 writes, Chris, are you thinking about going to see the Steve Jobs movie when it comes out? I don't know. I haven't really seen a lot of movies in the theaters. I've been waiting for them to come out on DVD so we can grab them at Redbox. We usually wait for our monthly free code. I mean, why spend extra money when you don't need to? I don't know if I really want to see a version of Steve Jobs on the big screen. I've seen Pirates of Silicon Valley. If you haven't caught that, I believe it's available on Netflix, possibly even Hulu. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for liking. And thanks for sharing. We'll see you later. Happy circles. Very happy circles.